Hello, welcome back to Blender. In this episode, we're gonna take a look at the creation of these effects. Basically, we are using line and then Blender Cloth Modifier, and we kind of creating these effects where we separated a single line into multiple lines, and then for each first and end part of the rope, we're gonna kind of pin it so it creates this kind of interesting effects. This is can be improved, of course, but let's see how we do this. So from scratch, delete everything, go to compositing, sphere chalk add-on, new, and we're gonna create a line and viewer, right click and connect to viewer draw, and let's save this as sv rope sim, and let's see how we do this. So by default, line will grow in x directions axis, and that's fine. Let's make a couple of lines, so 10 points or 10 vertices, and we can control the stepping. We can randomize the stepping later. So from this line we can use nodes called polygon boom, and with polygon boom we are separating the line into each edges. So each if we bake now, we have we can see we have 9 different lines, separated lines, and so that's cool. Let's from those 9 lines we want to interpolate it, so we can have like a kind of like a ways to resample. So let's use vector interpolations, and with vector interpolations we can use range float with a start and stop between 0 and 1. We want another 10 divisions. So now if we are using a UV connection in here, set it to edges, we're gonna get 10 different lines. If I bake it out, we still have 10 different lines, but each of the lines, if we go to edit mode, have 10 different points. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yep, it's 10. So now we are actually ready to turn this into a cloth. And for the cloth, we can also kind of modify the vertex weight so it's got pinned correctly. So let's see how we do that. Convert these 9 lines into viewer bmesh first of all. So we have a real objects now in the scene, and from here we can assign cloth modifier. Let's try doing that first on one of them. Cloth, and yep, that's the only thing we need to do, just assign a cloth modifier. We need to do it here, or we can also use a sphere chalk way. I'm just gonna do it manually for now. So if we run the simulations, that thing will fall. And the idea here, of course, is to use the pinning, and the pinning should have vertex weight. The vertex weight is gonna come from sphere chalk. So let's try doing that. So vertex weight, vertex group weight for these 9 objects, we want to assign it to the first and to the last of the index point. If we just assign it like assign a random number between 0 and 1, this is going to be random. You will see the effects if I select this guy and then pin it using the vertex group. You will see there's some kind of things happening. See, because random number will give a number between 0 and 1 for this guy right here. So if it's 0, if it's 1, it's gonna get pinned. If it's 0, it's not gonna get pinned. So you can actually play with this idea. Yeah, something like that, right? It's kind of cool. It's pretty cool effect. And you can also add the mesh and increase I think the bending, so it's gonna drop more. So that's actually the basic idea, and if you are using random and you're done with it, that's fine. Let's assign it to all of this guy. Reset the simulation. Now you can see it's kind of doing it. What I did just now is select all, select this guy last, and then Control L, and then make links with the modifier. So each of this line will get the same modifier assigned, all with a pinning to the SV group. So that's the idea, right? It's pretty simple. Let's do it to the first and last of the index, so we have a nice kind of like a curvy line. So let's do that using index to mask, and we're gonna do the, I think we just need to provide the index number and the mask length. So this part is probably the trickiest, but it's not too bad. So from this guy right here, we want to get the total number of the points. So object ID out. So I still have the simulation running. Get the total number of each vertices and plug this into the mask length. Actually, let's stop this. Let's check this out first. So yeah, 10, 10, 10, 10. Yeah, that's the number of points from the lines. Plug this into the mask length, and then we just need to provide the index. The index is gonna be 0 and -1. That's gonna represent the first and the last of each index. Plug this into the index, and we should get a result. Let's see. Oh, actually, this guy goes there. This one go there. I'm expecting to see 0 and 1. Okay, there you go. That's a true, false, 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 and then true. That's the correct masking. Let me try that again. So no matter how many, no matter how long the line, you will see that we can use this mask plug into vertex group weight and then update it. And this is gonna be for the length of the line, right? Let's make it like 30, or actually 20. And see, no matter how long the lines, the first and the last of the index will get true. And if it's getting true, that means it's gonna get pinned correctly in here. So let's rerun the simulation, and we might need to reassign the cloth modifier, but there you go. You see what's happening? The first and the last of each edges got pinned for the cloth modifier. And now if we want to randomize the length of each line, we can use random number. Let's make it 9. And the stepping can be a random value. Plug this into this guy. So now we have a random length of line. Each one of them still have the simulations. And let's see what's going to happen now. There you go. So this can be useful for a lot of things like spider web or kind of like a random line. So this is based on this line right here, right? And so at any point in time we can randomize this line, and we will get quite interesting result. And if I just randomize in X and Y, you will see we get that. and at any time in point I can increase the number, make it like 100 for example. So now we have 100 lines. Oops, actually that's too many. Let's make it 30. So 30 lines, 30 cloth modifier. I just need to reassign the same modifier and just wait a few seconds. We're gonna get a new simulations. There you go. Random lines. Each one of the lines get cut, and then for each points, for the first and last, it's got pinned. So there you go. That's the whole effects right there. And I can even randomize it further. There you go. And if you want to render this out, you can use a polyline viewer at the very end here. So you can grab all this line and then use objects in, get the selection, and pause modifier on, use polyline viewer, plug the vertices, and there you go. This guy will render. It's pretty simple, right? It's the whole procedure to get each line being cut and then resample, and then also we creating like a pinning vertex weight. That's the cloth modifier will understand, and it creates these effects. I'm gonna do something even a little bit more elaborate, like making it so that it's not like single lines but multiple lines, and let's see how it goes. But this is the basics. So hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.